Why are the Atlas Seaboard Mego 8-inch action figures so difficult to find? So elusive. What's happening with Walmart? I mean, what's the disconnect? I mean, I don't understand it. I was talking to some collectors the other day. We're trying to put our just trying to figure out, I should say, what's the deal with not being able to find these figures on Walmart's website. Too exclusive? Not popular enough? Too difficult to find? Not enough fanfare? Not enough information? Not enough history on these figures? There's a number of things you could put your finger on to explain why these figures just haven't been able to be found, making them impossible, actually, in some cases. Fellow collectors, welcome to the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. I'll be your curator today, guys. We got the coffee on, and we have a hot topic of discussion. The Atlas figures. Too exclusive, too difficult to find, not popular enough. What's happening and why collectors can't get their hands on these figures? And we have one figure here front and center, and that's the Grim Ghost. He is by far the most popular and by far the most elusive figure out of the four. Very difficult to find this guy. I don't think at this point you can find these figures on Walmart's website. I went and checked. I couldn't find them. If I am wrong, guys, leave that information in the comment section right underneath this video. But these figures, in one respect, it's a good thing. I don't know how many figures were produced by Mego for Walmart. I don't know. So I don't know how many. Has Mego released the number of figures? I don't think so. Will they? Probably not. So we don't know how many of these figures actually exist. You know, we don't know how many Phoenix figures and how many Devilina figures, how many Grim Ghost figures, and how many Hands of the Dragon figures actually exist. But we do know one thing. They are very, very difficult to find now. On the secondary market is ridiculous. People are charging an arm and a leg, crazy prices for figures that really retail on Walmart's website for like $29.99. So why would you spend $100 or $150 or $200, $300-400 for the set, you know, if you don't have to? Your thoughts, guys, on why these figures are so difficult to find, and why is the Grim Ghost, you know, becoming somewhat of a iconic just lore figure, just where people are just, they speak about this figure like, you know, he's existed for 100 years. And he's a brand new figure. Yes, his character, the comic book character, has been around since, what, 1975? But the figure, 2025. And he's by far the most popular. And out of all four, the most difficult to obtain. Some people are telling me that they're missing him. They have the other three, but they don't have the Grim Ghost to complete the set. Which, if you're a completist, would drive you absolutely insane. So I already know what the completist collector is going to do. He's going to go to the secondary market and pay an obscene amount of money for the Grim Ghost. The question is, why should the completist collector should have to do that? I think if these figures sold out, I think more should be made readily available. I would like, and mind you, this is not necessarily a Mego problem, more it is a Walmart problem. I think Walmart should contact Mego and say, hey, listen, we need more of these figures. They sold out. I don't think that Walmart is sitting on these figures. I don't think Walmart is necessarily keeping these figures in stock, just not just to sell them. That's ridiculous. But obviously they're sold out. They don't have it. They don't have any more of these figures. So that people that wanted these figures, because let's be honest, guys, everybody didn't know about the Atlas Seaboard comics that came out in the 1970s. Like in 1975, it was a short-lived comic book company run. Each character might have had 1 to 2, maybe 3 issues, and that was it. And that was the end of Atlas Comics. Now Atlas Comics is making a comeback. Some of these figures are going to have, from what I'm hearing, movies or things of that nature made about them, which would be really cool, because if, like me, and my brothers and a lot of other comic book collectors knew about Atlas Comics from the 1970s. We were kids of the 1970s. So it's really a cool deal. But the toys, the 8-inch action figures, I don't know, was this just a something to get the word out, or the news out about Atlas Comics, coming back and bringing light to a certain amount of characters for their comic book company, and just something that Mego was asked to do, and that was it, which would absolutely send these figures into the stratosphere as far as collectability wise. And the Grim Ghost already has a huge head start in that department. He is, like I said, I can't say it enough, he has become, without question, the most sought after and the most collectible of the four. Whose fault is it? Is it Walmart's fault? Let's throw Mego in there. Is it Mego's fault? I don't think it's Mego's fault, but do you think it's Mego's fault? We want to hear all that in the comment section, guys, right underneath this video. Is it the collector's fault? Do we have to take some blame as well, guys? You didn't pull the trigger fast enough when these figures came out at Walmart. You thought that these figures would be around, would be readily available to you, and you didn't pull the trigger fast enough in ordering these figures. And now they're sold out, they're out of stock, or sold out. You pick and choose which one of those scenarios you want to believe or think about, but we do know they're not available right now. So whose fault is it? Mego's, Walmart's, or the collectors? Because I think at some point, guys, the collectors have to take some blame for it. It's no different than any other toy release. If you don't have the funds readily available to pre-order or get these figures, and then they come out, or you haven't heard about the situation or the figures being released, or you missed the release date, you think that the release date's a certain other date, and all of a sudden you see these figures out, and then all of a sudden the figures that you want are gone. Who do you blame in that situation? Yourself? The toy company? The retailer? We don't know. So we're asking people to try to figure this out with us today as we're drinking our coffee, guys, down here in the museum on a Sunday, guys. And like I said, this is something I've been definitely wanting to do a video on, a group discussion about this, about the Atlas Seaboard Mego figures, because I've been hearing a lot of collectors talk about these figures and how difficult they are to obtain. And Walmart keeps popping up in a lot of the group discussions because Walmart's website simply can't keep these figures in stock. And Grim Ghost is the lead the lead character in this whole drama, if you will, because he's the most popular. So naturally, people do we get mad at people that bought or ordered 10 Grim Ghost figures? No, you can't. I mean, there was no, I don't believe there was a limit on how many of these sets or particular individual figures you could order. You could order as many as you want. But at, nearly $30 a pop, that's expensive. If you're going to order 5 Grim Ghost figures, it gets expensive. Even if you want to order 2 or 3. I ordered 1 full set and called it a day. And even I was somewhat caught off guard because I was basically thinking the same thing that a lot of people were thinking. Well, they'll be around. They will be available for an extended period of time. I've just got through collecting the Disney Mego figures. So I said, the first order of business was making sure I secured at least 2 of the Spider-Man Disney Mego 4-pack figures sets. So I got 2 of those sets. And I said, if the Atlas Mego figures are still available, I'll go back around and get those. And there was a little bit of a headache trying to get these figures at first. You had to order them, they got canceled, and I had to go back in and reorder them and do all that. And people had horror stories about that in itself. Who's to blame? Is there any blame? Have you completed your set? We want to know, guys. Who's responsible? Or did you just, as an individual collector, did you just drop the ball and not give these figures the respect that they deserve, and thought that they will still be around when you were ready to order them? And now they're out of stock. They may never come back in stock. You might have missed the train with these figures. How do you feel about that? We want to hear all that, guys. Right underneath this video in a comment section, guys. Your thoughts, your opinions. Do you have these figures? Are you still looking for these figures? Which one of these figures are your favorites? We want to hear all of that. Like I said, right now, if I took a poll just off of the information I have now from a lot of the collectors, the Grim Ghost, without question. And he is obviously one of the main reasons I'm making this video, because he's the one that's always talked about that's not in stock. 2 or 3 weeks ago, you could find the other three, the Hands of the Dragon, Devilina, and Phoenix, but you couldn't find the Grim Ghost. He was sold out already. Who's to blame? Why are these guys so difficult to collect? We want to hear all that, guys. Let's keep the conversation going in the comment section, guys. I'm going to respond to all of the comments on this video about these figures, and maybe we can all put our heads together and figure out what the deal is. You know the routine, guys. God bless. Stay safe. And by all means, keep collecting.